China's $1.1 billion soybean shock. How a single night redefined global trade wars. The alarms blared across trading floors from Chicago to Chongqing at 2:17 a.m. GMT on April 25, 2025. In a move that stunned commodity markets, China cancelled 2.4 million metric tons of U.S. soybean orders mid-transit, equivalent to 40 fully laden Panamax vessels, and redirected $1.1 billion in contracts to Brazilian suppliers. This overnight decoupling didn't just empty American silos, it exposed the fragile interdependence of modern global trade. From heartland family farms to Beijing's strategic reserves, the soybean has become the uranium of economic warfare, a mundane crop transformed into a geopolitical fissile material. The midnight facts that shook the Mississippi. The mechanics of a modern trade ambush. At precisely 9 p.m. Central Time on April 24th, the U.S. Soybean Export Council's servers lit up with automated alerts. China's General Administration of Customs had transmitted 87 Form E certificates, the crucial phytosanitary permits required for agricultural imports, all marked "cancelled" in bold red characters. The affected shipments, representing 13% of annual U.S. exports to China, were already en route from Gulf Coast terminals. It's economic warfare conducted at machine speed, said Dr. Lena Zhou, a trade policy analyst at Peking University. By targeting shipments in transit, Beijing forced American exporters into a logistical nightmare: either eat the costs of returning millions of tons of perishable goods or sell at fire sale prices to alternative markets. The Brazilian pivot. Within hours of the cancellations, Brazil's CONAB, National Food Supply Company, reported a record 3.8 million tons of soybean sales to China, 40% above their 30-day moving average. The speed of this shift revealed China's preparation: Santos Port, expansion. The $4 billion Chinese-funded Terminal 31 at Santos, operational since March 2025, can now process 8,000 tons per hour of soybeans, triple the previous rate. Currency swaps. The People's Bank of China activated a 30 billion Brazilian real Chinese yuan swap line, allowing Brazilian sellers to avoid dollar transactions. Strategic reserves. China's State, Grain and Oilseed Reserve Bureau had quietly built 12 new storage facilities along the Yangtze River Delta, each capable of holding 500,000 tons. From heartland to hardline, the American farmer's reckoning. The math of desperation. In Mato Grosso, Brazilian farmers celebrate $14.20 per bushel prices. Meanwhile, in Iowa, fourth-generation grower Caleb Ragland faces numbers that don't add up. Cost component $20-24 per acre, $20-25 per acre. Seed plus fertilizer, $218, $247 plus 13%. Diesel, $84, $112 plus 33%. Interest operating loan, $39, $58, 49%. Break. Even price $11.40, $13.90. Current. CBOT. Price $12.80, $10.20. We're burning equity at $1,200 a day, Ragland testified, before the Senate Agriculture Committee on April 28th. The banks called my 200-year-old family farm unviable, a word I had to look up between spraying passes. The phytosanitary pretext. China's official rationale, contamination by ergot alkaloids and clothionidin seed treatments, collapses under scrutiny. USDA compliance data. Only 0.07% of 2024 U.S. soybean shipments exceeded 0.05% ergot content versus China's 0.1% limit. Double standard. Brazil's 2024 crop showed 0.12% average ergot levels, double U.S. figures, yet faced no restrictions. Timing. The contaminated shipments included 340,000 tons from Cargill's GMO-free identity-preserved program, a niche product with triple documentation. This isn't about fungus, said former USTR negotiator Darcy Vetter. It's about demonstrating that China can weaponize food safety protocols as easily as tariffs a 21st-century blockade without declaring war. The new mercantilism, soybeans as strategic currency, AA, the BRICS food, Axis. While U.S. officials scrambled, China's Ministry of Commerce finalized the Soybean-Backed Infrastructure Initiative, SBII, with BRICS partners. Brazil, 12,000 kilometers of new railways financed by soybean futures, connecting Mato Grosso to Chinese-built ports. Russia, 5 million hectares of Siberian farmland leased to Chinese agribusiness in exchange for discounted soy protein. India, swaps of soybean meal for generic pharmaceuticals, bypassing Western IP restrictions. Food sovereignty is the new non-aligned movement, declared Brazilian Agriculture Minister Carlos Favaro at the April 30th BRICS summit. Why beg for dollars when we can trade nutrition directly for development? B. The domestic calculus. Behind China's bold move lies acute vulnerability. Pork price index, plus 18% year-over-year as ASF, African swine fever, resurges in Sichuan province. Strategic reserves, soybean stockpiles at 22 days supply, below the 30-day security threshold. Currency pressure, USD/CNY, threatens to breach 7.45, a level that could trigger capital flight. This isn't strength, it's desperation, argued AEI scholar Derek Scissors. By burning soybean reserves to punish America, Xi risks empty woks before the 2027 Party Congress. The American crossroads, adaptation or abdication, EA. The biofuel lifeline. With 40% of U.S. soybean oil already going to renewable diesel, Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack announced emergency measures on May 1st. RFS expansion, raising biodiesel mandates from 4.5 to 6.5 billion gallons for 2025. Pipeline priority, fast-tracking the Midwest Carbon Express to sequester CO2 from ethanol plants. DDGS incentives, $25 per ton subsidy for soybean meal used in aquaculture feed. We'll turn soy into energy and algae food before begging Beijing, Vilsack declared. A plan experts say requires $12 billion in new biorefineries. B. The political reckoning. In Magnolia, Kentucky, Ragland's neighbors have painted over Trump 2024 signs with crude soybean stalks. The disillusionment cuts deep. Farm bankruptcy filings plus 88% in the first quarter of 2025 across the Corn Belt. Land values 19% decline since January, the steepest since 1985. Input. Suppliers. John Deere reports 62% drop in planter orders for 2026. We're the pawns in this chess game, Ragland told the Free Press. Washington either needs to checkmate China or let us switch sides, because right now, Brazil's looking real good. The horizon. Seeds of the next conflict. As the Mississippi River sees empty barges stack up, new battle lines emerge. Genetic arms race. China's CAS, Chinese Academy of Sciences, claims a breakthrough in salt-tolerant soybeans, potentially enabling cultivation in Xinjiang's deserts. African playground. Ethiopia leased 400,000 hectares to Sinagrain for soybean production, a corridor patrolled by PLA security contractors. Carbon blackmail. EU regulators threaten to ban US soy over deforestation-linked emissions, while exempting Brazilian crops. The soybean, this humble legume, has become the canary in the coal mine of globalization. As former CIA analyst Rod Schoonover notes, when two superpowers fight over protein supplies, the whole world goes hungry. The real crisis begins when China cancels breakfast,